Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We're in Russell's Square Park, and it's cool enough to come out and read. It's been very hot.
It's been a wonderful, wonderful, nice sunny day.
Well, depends on your perspective. Yeah.
From my perspective, it's been a wonderful sunny day.
Alright, we're going to read from Canto 3, Chapter 9. Are we text 29?
Text 29.
Okay.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So text 29. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before. Purport. Any person authorized by either the Lord or his bona fide representative is already blessed, as is the work entrusted to him. Of course, the person entrusted with such a responsibility should always be aware of his incapability and must always look for the mercy of the Lord for the successful execution of his duty. One should not be puffed up because he is entrusted with certain executive work. Fortunate is he who is so entrusted, and if he is always fixed in the sense of being subordinate to the will of the Supreme, he is sure to come out successful in the discharge of his work. Arjuna was entrusted with the work of fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and before he was so entrusted, the Lord had already arranged for his victory. But Arjuna was always conscious of his position as subordinate to the Lord, and thus he accepted him as the supreme guide in his responsibility. Anyone who takes pride in doing responsible work but does not give credit to the Supreme Lord is certainly falsely proud and cannot execute anything nicely. Brahma and persons in the line of his disciplined succession who follow in his footsteps are always successful in the discharge of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord.
Wow. What a nice purport. Any
Just
thoughts?
stressing the importance of always remembering that Krishna is the ability in man, as it says in the Bhagavad Gita. And so without that, you can't even do the most basic things. I always remember, I try to remember that every Friday, which is, well, this has been filmed on a Friday, because I cook for a long time, Krishna's breakfast and lunch. And I just realize, this is quite a lot, so it's like praying that you are the ability, ma'am, and so, give me the ability to cook breakfast and lunch, just get it out there. Sure it's done on time and nicely. It's a nice meditation.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I was thinking this, especially the first part of the purport, and this whole thing is Lord Brahma's mood is, like you said, to seek shelter.
Yeah.
To be humble, even though in one sense we could say, God, he's Lord Brahma, he's the, Adi Kabiye, he's the first created being. I mean, he's born directly from the Lord himself. I mean, who's more qualified in one sense to...
Oh my days.
The bees are buzzing around. Must be like honey and nectar around here.
Well, we are reading the sweet
nectar. We are reading the sweet nectar of Bhagavatam, yeah. So who's more qualified? But yet he still feels himself disqualified. That's powerful.
Yeah.
But then it's also powerful that, the Lord says, I've already granted you that. And then Prabhupada qualifies that in the purport because he says any person authorized by either the Lord or his bona fide representative is already blessed, as is the work entrusted to him. I think it's just really important that, senior devotee once said, with the instruction becomes the empowerment to fulfill the instruction. So it means that if we're asked to do something or given the benediction of some specific service, and here Prabhupada says, entrusted with, he mentions, he says, with some certain executive work. You know, if you need to execute something. Fortunate is he who is so entrusted, and if he is always fixed in the sense of being subordinate to the will of the Supreme, as you were just saying, he is sure to come out successful in the discharge of his or her work. So I guess in the same way, you're being asked to do the service, so therefore you're empowered to do it. But we should always feel incapable, and we should seek position ourselves in a subordinate place so that we can get it done. There's a part where, I like this, Prabhupada said, anyone who takes pride in doing responsible work but does not give credit to the Supreme Lord is certainly falsely proud and cannot execute anything nicely. And I thought this was interesting because usually we understand pride cometh before a fall, and pride is not something that generally we want. But here it seems that Prabhupada is saying that of course you can be proud of your work, but you have to understand that it's Krishna is the ability in man. He's given me the ability. Otherwise, if you're proud and not giving credit to the Supreme Lord, then you're basically useless.
Yeah.
Anyway, just a few thoughts. This must be like the longest chapter on the whole planet. It seems like we've been in chapter 9 for 10 years and 28 pages left.
43 verses.
Okay, so text 30. Plus, I guess we're talking a lot.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Oh, Brahma, situate yourself in penance and meditation and follow the principles of knowledge to receive my favor. By these actions, you will be able to understand everything from within your heart. So this is good instruction, that we have to situate ourselves in penance, which means we have to perform some austerity, some sacrifice. We have to meditate and follow the principles of knowledge, and then we can receive the Lord's favor. So let's hear Prabhupada's purport. The mercy the Lord bestows upon a particular person engaged in executing the responsible work entrusted unto him is beyond imagination. Okay, that's powerful, huh? The mercy the Lord bestows upon a particular person engaged in executing the responsible work entrusted unto him is beyond imagination. So there's a lot of mercy already flowing to a person who's asked to take up a certain service. It's beyond our imagination. But his mercy is received due to our penance and perseverance, excellent, in executing devotional service. So there's going to be some austerity, there'll be challenges, there'll have to be some sacrifice, but we have to persevere in doing that. Brahma was entrusted with the work of creating the planetary systems. That's a big job. The Lord instructed him that when he meditated, he would very easily know where and how the planetary systems must be arranged. So interesting. So the Lord isn't, let's say, directly telling him, but he's saying to meditate, and it will become clear. I will reveal it basically from within your heart. The directions were to come from within, yeah? And there was no necessity for anxiety in that task. Wow. Such instructions of Buddhi Yoga are directly imparted by the Lord from within, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 10.10. And for those of you who don't know, Bhagavad Gita 10.10 is one of the seed verses. It's the third of the 4 seed verses of the Bhagavad Gita, and it's Tesham Sarata Yuktanam Bhajatam Pradipurvikam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mamupayantite. That I seated within their hearts. No, that's the next one. Yena Mamupayantite. To show them special mercy, I dwelling within their hearts, destroy with the torchlight of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Is that it? Oh, that's the second one. Tesham eminent.
It's nice, but I'm not to quote anything.
It's not, I know it.
If you know it,
Okay.
put it in the comments below.
Tesham Satyutanam.
If you know it, Sally Webb, you put it in the comments below.
Tommy Buddhi Yogam Tam.
Or Dawn Nicholson.
I dwelling in their hearts. Oh God, because the third and the fourth one is so similar.
Alright, let's roll.
Okay.
Text 31. O Brahma, when you are absorbed in devotional service in the course of your creative activities, you will see me in you and throughout the universe, and you will see that you yourself, the universe, and the living entities are all in me. Purport. It is cited
As all surrender unto me, I give them the knowledge by which they can come to me. That's it. Sorry.
Purport. It is cited herein by the Lord that during his daytime Brahma would see him as Lord Sri Krishna. He would appreciate how the Lord expanded himself into all the calves during his childhood at Vrindavan. He would know how Yashoda Mai saw all the universes and planetary systems within the mouth of Krishna during his playful childhood pastimes. And he would also see that there are many millions of Brahmas during the appearance of Lord Krishna in Brahma's daytime. But all these manifestations of the Lord, appearing everywhere in his eternal transcendental forms, cannot be understood by anyone but the pure devotees, who are always engaged in devotional service to the Lord and are fully absorbed in the Lord. The high qualifications of Brahma are also indicated herein. So Krishna is just letting Brahma know, absorb yourself in devotional service, and in course of time I shall reveal myself. You will see everything.
Wow.
Requires patience, which will then create faith.
Well, you have to have some faith to have patience also, I guess, right?
Quite.
The whole journey starts with Shraddha, right? Shraddha, and then Sadhu Sangha.
Don't. It's just not embarrassing.
I can't help myself. It's all there. All the knowledge. It's really good. Okay, 32. You will see me in all living entities as well as all over the universe, just as fire is situated in wood. But many people don't see the fire in the wood. They just see the wood. Only in that state of transcendental vision will you be able to be free from all kinds of illusion. So there you go. So if we see Krishna in everything, just like we see fire in wood, most people don't see the fire in the wood, but you have to know and understand with knowledge, and then you see with eyes of knowledge that fire is already in the wood. Like I did a yogi the other day at this Griha Pravesh, and these little kids were there, and one little boy, he kept saying, "Where's the fire? Where's the fire?" And I said, and I held a piece of wood, and I said, "The fire is already in the wood." And he said, "I don't see the fire." And I said, "But you watch later, the fire is already in there. I'll just bring the fire out of the wood." And he was like, "Oh." But that's the case. The fire is actually, that element of fire is already in the wood. We can't see it or understand it. Just like there's air in the body, or the body is 75 or 80% water. But you don't think that's the case, but that is the actual scientific fact. Okay, anyway, the purport.
Yeah.
Brahma prayed,
real purport.
the real purport by Srila Prabhupada. Brahma prayed that he might not forget his eternal relationship with the Lord during the course of his material activities. In answer to that prayer, the Lord said that he should not think of existing without a relationship with his omnipotence.
Omnipotency.
Yeah, omnipotency. Sorry, omnipotency. Similar. The example is given of fire in the wood. The fire kindled in wood is always the same, although the wood may be of different types. Similarly, the bodies within the material creation may be specifically different according to shape and quality, but the spirit souls within them are not different from one another. The quality of fire, warmth, is the same everywhere, and the spiritual spark, or part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit, is the same in every living being. Thus, the potency of the Lord is distributed all over his creation. This transcendental knowledge alone can save one from contamination of material illusion. Since the Lord's potency is distributed everywhere, a pure soul or devotee of the Lord can see everything in relationship with the Lord, and therefore he has no affection for the outer coverings. That pure spiritual conception makes him immune to all contamination of material association. The pure devotee never forgets the touch of the Lord in all circumstances. So, yeah, we have to see the Lord in everything, like the fires in the wood.
Yeah.
Okay?
Text 33. When you are free from the conception of gross and subtle bodies, and when your senses are free from all influences of the modes of material nature, you will realize your pure form in my association. At that time, you will be situated in pure consciousness. Purport. In the Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, it is said that a person whose only desire is to render transcendental loving service to the Lord is a free person in any condition of material existence. That service attitude is the Swarup or real form of the living entity. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also confirms this statement by declaring that the real spiritual form of the living entity is eternal servitorship to the Supreme Lord. The Mayavad school shudders at the thought of the service attitude in the living entity, not knowing that in the transcendental world the service of the Lord is based on transcendental love. Transcendental loving service is never to be compared to the forced service of the material world. In the material world, even if one is under the conception that he is no one's servant, he is still the servant of his senses, under the dictation of the material modes. Factually, no one is master here in the material world, and therefore the servants of the senses have a very bad experience of servitude. They shudder at the thought of service because they have no knowledge of the transcendental position. In transcendental loving service, the servitor is as free as the Lord. The Lord is Swarat, or fully independent, and the servant is also fully independent of Swarat in the spiritual atmosphere, because there is no forced service. There, the transcendental loving service is due to spontaneous love. A reflected glimpse of such service is experienced in the service of the mother to the son, the friend's service unto the friend, or the wife's service unto the husband. These reflections of service by friends, parents, or wives are not forced, but are due only to love. Here in this material world, however, the loving service is only a reflection. The real service or service in Swarup is present in the transcendental world in association with the Lord. The very same service in transcendental love can be practiced in devotion here.
Any thoughts on that first paragraph? Very long paragraph.
Yeah, it's very long.
That's your thought on it?
Yeah.
So it seems that one's original identity can be revealed when we become free from the modes of material nature and the misconception of the body or the material body as the self. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is really explaining, I like this part that he says, where he talks about the Mayavadi shuddering at the fact that devotional service is there. But he says the Lord is Swarat, which means he's fully independent. The Lord is fully independent. He doesn't depend on anyone for anything. But then it says that the servant, that's us, the jiva, we're also fully independent, or Swarat, which is interesting because we often understand that we have minute independence. But on the perfected platform, we're fully Swarat also. And why is that? Because in the spiritual atmosphere, there is no forced service. So that means the choice of, that means dedicated full devotional service is voluntary. That means you've had to choose it. So, it's not a forced condition. It's our natural condition, but it's a chosen condition. And that's why we're here in the material world, because we consciously chose not to live inside of that voluntary condition. So we voluntarily chose to live inside of this condition where we're just trying to serve our senses, basically. Krishna. Any thoughts? Okay. Read the next paragraph. This verse is also applicable to the Jnani school. The enlightened Jnani, when free from all material contaminations, namely the gross and subtle bodies together with the senses of the material modes of nature, is placed in the Supreme, and is thus liberated from material bondage. The Jnanis and the devotees are actually in agreement up to the point of liberation from material contamination. But whereas the Jnanis remain pacified on the platform of simple understanding, the devotees develop further spiritual advancement and loving service. The devotees develop a spiritual individuality in their spontaneous service attitude, which is enhanced on and on up to the point of Madhurya Ras, or transcendental loving service, reciprocated between the lover and the beloved. Very nice. Thoughts, closing comments?
Very nice. Just continue serving and everything will be revealed.
Hare Krishna.
Very loud now.
Yeah, that's a signal for us to stop.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.